ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। आंतरिक आशीर्वाद to all disciples who are meditating together with us on Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. A very important question has been asked. A very important question is being deliberated upon. What is Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana? What is Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana? Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana is your journey to realize who you are. That is Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. Bhagwan Shiv is your supreme state of consciousness. Bhagwan Shiv is your supreme state of consciousness. As your consciousness evolves, as the consciousness of planet Earth evolves, we all are evolving by the virtue of the fundamental force of the evolution of consciousness to realize the Param Shiva, the supramental consciousness, the supreme infinite divine consciousness. Bhagwan Shiv is the pinnacle of consciousness which we all can realize before we dissolve unto infiniteness and be liberated. Bhagwan Shiv is known through many terms. Nataraj, the Lord of subatomic particles, the manifestation of the cosmic dance of subatomic particles from which this entire cosmos gets manifested. Ashutosh, the state of supreme bliss, which you realize upon realization of Shiva, your own supreme state of absolute divine consciousness. आपका जो स्वत्व है, आपके भीतर संस्थापित जो परम चैतन्य परम दिव्य ईश्वर तत्व है, वही शिव है, वही परम शिव है, वही रुद्र है, वही आशुतोष नीलकंठ नटराज. Shiv is the journey to the realization of your optimum divine potential. And Shiv is also your optimum divine potential. Meditate upon this. Shiv is the only Param Tattva, which is the journey unto itself and which is the destination unto itself. The journey known as Shiva takes you to the destination, also Shiva. शिव ही साधना है, शिव ही मोक्ष है, शिव ही तप है, शिव ही गंतव्य है. Bhagwan Shiv is the energy that defines the journey. And Bhagwan Shiv is also the energy of which the destination is made up of. Bhagwan Shiv is the purest of pure, is the most divine of the divine within you. The best of your own divine self that you can realize is Bhagwan Shiv. The purest of your own divine self that you can evolve up to is Bhagwan Shiv. And the process of that spiritual evolution is also Bhagwan Shiv. We celebrate the infiniteness of Bhagwan Shiv by chanting Om Namah Shivaya. As we know, Om is the primordial sound of the cosmos, consisting of the three primordial letters A, U, Ma. So, Om, Na, Maha, Shi, Va, Ya. Om Namah Shivaya. And the five fundamental letters being Na, Maha, Shi, Va, Ya. So, understand carefully. All matter manifests out of energy. We are all aware of E equal to mc square, the fundamental equation that gives the equivalence of energy and matter. We also understand the more evolved version of it, the Dirac's equation. But what does these equations fundamentally tell us? That all matter get manifested out of energy. Shiva is the matter, Shiv is the energy. Om is the energy, and the five fundamental manifestation of matter out of Om, the primordial energy. Na, Maha, Shi, Va, Ya. Earth, water, fire, air, space. These five fundamental state of matter manifests themselves out of the primordial energy Om. And this energy matter equivalence, transformation, symbiotic manifestation unto each other represents Om Namah Shivaya, represents the fundamental of Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. The process through which you realize your own infiniteness, your own supreme divine potential is a Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. And Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana is also the destination, the supreme pinnacle of self-actualization that you reach just before dissolving unto infinity, the infiniteness of Anantattva, the supreme divine energy, before getting liberated for eternity. That is Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. But Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana also contains within itself all laws of physics, all laws of economics, all interplays of the three fundamental tattvas that govern the Brahman, quantum, evolution, and economics. Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana within itself contains all that which is energy, matter, and the laws that govern them. And Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana is also the process through which the cosmic force of evolution of consciousness finds its final destination, that is realization of the supramental consciousness, that is realization of the supreme infinite divine eternal consciousness, that is the realization of Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. This dualistic expression of the infiniteness of supreme divine is the Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana, and the supreme divine is also Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Diving into this supremely profound Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana, Guruji, now can we reflect on, it is said that when you see an imagery of Lord Shiva playing the Dumru, it is said that with that creation starts. Now, can you for the viewers, Guruji, relate that into today's language. How this process of creation is triggered so that we can appreciate the imagery that is found in our text.
Beautiful question, Sumanji. Your fundamental question relates to origin of the universe. As we all know, that the beginning of the evolution of the cosmos began with the Big Bang, began with the absolute divine explosion of the supremely concentrated energy mass. This energy mass is a Shiva. And the explosion that started the process of manifestation of this supreme consciousness, of this supreme energy in so many diversified forms: cosmic dust, hydrogen, helium, all the elements, black matter, black energy, black holes, so many planets, asteroids, galaxies, stars of all forms, and the cosmic diversity of all that which constitutes this cosmos, all emanated from one single source of infinite energy. That infinite energy is a Shiva, and its expansion, its manifestation in all possible diversified forms of cosmic elements is the Shakti, is the process of evolution. And the quantum nature of subatomic particles that is silently governing all expansion and all evolution and all cosmic diversities. That is Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana. And the interplay, the divine interplay of quantum manifesting itself continuously through evolution, and evolution manifesting itself through quantum, and the resultant third fundamental force of economics is all represented through the divine form, the divine iconography of Shiva playing the Damru, the cosmic instrument of the interplay of quantum evolution and economics. And the iconography which represents the benevolent cosmic nature of the fundamental governing energy that makes life possible, that creates that slight imbalance between matter and antimatter, because of which this cosmic diversity, our existence, and life itself is possible, is represented by the eternal blissful state of Ashutosh, the giver of eternal infinite bliss, and this continuous motion of subatomic particles that breathes diversity into the cosmic diversity of all the cosmic elements, that breathes life into all living organisms, that breathes consciousness into the non-living and living, and that which also forms the fundamental strata of the force of evolution of consciousness. That continuous motion of subatomic particles is represented by the imagery of Lord of subatomic particles, Nataraj, the eternally vibrant Shiva. This is the divine tattva, This is the divine iconography of the various form of Shiva, the primordial source, the primordial origin of all that exists, of all that has ever existed, of all that will ever exist. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. So, Guruji, diving little deeper into the process of creation at the level of the universe. Now, we know from our science that life on Earth, starting from a single cell organism, started around about more than around 3.5 billion years ago. Now, the question being this, according to what we know today through science, there was a lot of conducive forces at play that created the first single cell organism from a non-living matter to the living matter. I think that bridge was created. Now, Guruji, was that an accident? Was it intended for life to begin? And what was the ultimate purpose of that life to begin from a perspective of Shiva Tattva Mahasadhana?
Wonderful question, Sumanji. You have essentially asked the fundamental question regarding the force of evolution of consciousness. Let me tell the entire universe today for the first time that the most fundamental force on planet Earth, in this entire cosmos that governs everything, is the force of evolution of consciousness. It is the very nature of all forms of consciousness to find its evolutionary path to realize the supramental consciousness, the supreme state of consciousness, the divine consciousness. Consciousness of all forms, Chetana in various forms, will not stop their evolutionary journey till they don't realize their natural state of being, that is divine consciousness. The natural state of consciousness is infinity, is the infiniteness of divine energy. Till consciousness that is there in all forms of matter and which is beyond matter also. Everything, every subatomic particle is conscious. Every subatomic particle, whether it is electron, proton, neutron, whether it is quark of any spin, everything is conscious. Higgs particle is also conscious. Fermions are conscious. Bosons have consciousness in them. The most fundamental essence, the most fundamental tattva, the most fundamental being in everything, in the most micro, nano of everything is consciousness. Consciousness is all pervading. It is there at the same time throughout everything that exists in the cosmos, at the most fundamental subatomic particle level, at levels to which we have not even reached, because we are constrained, that we are not able to measure something which is smaller than a photon. We have to understand this fundamental handicap, that beyond a point we cannot measure things at the smallest level. Even in those things which are most fundamental, there is consciousness. Consciousness is most fundamental to everything that exists. And at the same time, all consciousness are related to each other. It is in a quantum state where it exists in even the most minutest form of the matter, but as energy, it is interconnected within itself. Actually, that is that hidden web that connects all of us. That is that hidden web. And that has its own force of evolution, known as the force of evolution of consciousness. हमारे चेतना की जो नैसर्गिक प्रवृत्ति है परम तत्व को प्राप्त करने की, उसे force of evolution of consciousness कहते हैं. And that force is actually the fundamental force of the nature of the cosmos that governs evolution of everything. In fact, evolution of matter is profoundly influenced and governed and led by the evolution of consciousness. And this evolution of consciousness is the dualistic interplay of Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is consciousness, and evolution of consciousness is Shakti. And the manifestation of Shiva through Shakti and manifestation of Shakti through Shiva gives birth to this entire cosmos. That is at the fundamental of everything in this cosmos. Even on planet Earth, when life took its flight, when living organisms started forming from non-living organisms through a process known as abiogenesis, what was actually happening? Consciousness of non-living material was finding its next logical level of entering into the phase of being consciousness of living matter. It is the urge of consciousness to continuously evolve till it merges itself with supreme divine consciousness that compels everything to evolve along with it. That is at the root of abiogenesis. That is what governs evolution. And that is what is quantum manifesting itself through evolution. Evolution manifesting itself through quantum. And this interplay, this dualistic interplay, gives birth to everything, governs everything. This is Shiva manifesting itself through Shakti, and Shakti manifesting itself through Shiva, which is represented by the divine iconography of Ardha Narishwara Swarupa of Bhagavan Shiva. That is at the core of this cosmos. And everything that exists in the cosmos, and every force, every law, every energy, every principle that govern these cosmic elements. Om Namah Shivaya.